Hey toy collectors, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. Snake Mountain has arrived! This is the Super7 Snake Mountain made for Masters of the Universe Classics. This was initially being planned by Mattel, but that just didn't happen. So the playset was then finally issued. There's been modifications and changes in the plan. It was shrank a little bit just to make it possible to shift. But it is enormous. It is so big, I can't possibly show you it without you seeing the edges of my backdrop. This is the biggest toy I've ever reviewed. So I am super excited to have this. It's amazing. Who would have ever thought? As a kid, I had the original Snake Mountain, and it was amazing. And this is so much bigger and so much more incredible. The sculpting cues are based on the original, but everything is just kind of magnified and intensified. The paintwork is so great. It really is awesome. So I want to put that out first because I do have some nitpicks, and I don't want to sound like I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth when I talk about this thing. But some of this stuff I was worried about from the minute they announced it, and also as soon as they started saying they were messing with the size. But let's take a tour around Snake Mountain. I've captured Tila! He-Man will have no choice but to fall into my trap! Oh, He-Man, be careful.
I won't let He-Man get past me!
So on our little adventure here, He-Man comes to a path. It's got amazing paintwork, great sculpting. I love these spikes. He starts walking up the path. Oh, he immediately hits his head. Oh, Tila, it's you. Thank you for rescuing me, He-Man.
Not a problem, Tila.
Adventure's over. All kidding aside, the original playset had some of those kind of issues as well. I would have loved for them to have addressed them with this, but the larger scale figures makes that kind of a problem. This time around, we have real chains. They're very loose on the female buck here, but if I put He-Man in the shackles, it works so much better. But this is amazing. You have an actual chain that's decorated with a sort of a rusty wash to it. And then you have these plastic shackles. They have an actual hinge and a clasp, so you can actually capture somebody and hold them prisoner. In the comments down below, let me know who is most likely to get captured at Snake Mountain when you played as a kid. Just above the prison platform, we have the wolf head that used to serve as a microphone. The centerpiece of this side is, of course, the spooky face. This time, the eyes are actually sculpted and painted, which is awesome, as opposed to stickers, like when you were a kid. And it still has the moving jaw feature. This time, it's operated from the front instead of the back. There's no lever on the inside this time. So if He-Man doesn't just climb up onto the ledge, and he crawls through this tunnel, and finally stands up at the bridge...
I'll stop him! Ha 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 ha! I'll take out the bridge!
It took me about 5 minutes of fiddling with Merman to get him to stand there. He's certainly not in a cool pose, but the pathway is very narrow, and the snake is in the way quite a bit. And then this area where the bridge is gone, I'm pretty sure the most powerful man in the universe could just jump that. Oh, Merman! Take a bath! If I put my flashlight behind the Snake Mountain playset, you can really see how translucent that waterfall is, which looks amazing. So now we're on to the Snake Tower side, and we have the pathway, which is a lot like steps. It's very steep. They're very tiny. There's really nowhere that you can rest a figure. Until you get to this ledge, which is kind of not a step. It's off the path. And it's a great place to display a figure. Just below that is a secret passage where Skeletor's minions can slink back into their base. The height is not terrible. They do have to hunch over a little bit to get in there. Especially because there's some stalactites on the inside. And finally, the most dangerous part of the trek, the really steep steps. up to the platform. Oh, not up to the platform, up to this wall where the snake head is. And then maybe he can hop over here to where Skeletor is. Too bad Skeletor doesn't have a trap. Anyone familiar with the vintage Snake Mountain will know that the snake head could actually move to attack guys or lure them in to the grate area there because there was a trap door that they would fall. That has been moved to the inside of the grate. Less logical sense is made by that for a play aspect, but this is an adult collector toy. And so we're going to be using it for display. And so for that, I don't mind they move the trapdoor. That gives you a good platform for guys to stand on. And that kind of brings me to my complaint about the front of the playset. The front of this playset looks amazing. I love how they incorporated a little bit more of the filmation look of the mountain with the snake wrapped around it into it. The lava river looks awesome. The bridge seems much more durable. The chains are amazing. But size and functionality for display, and that's how I'm going to use this. I'm going to display my figures, I hoped, on it. It takes up so much room, and I have a huge percentage of my house dedicated to just displaying toys. And I'm going to say this thing ends up eating up so much space, and I can't display figures on it. I would have loved if every one of the steps was big enough for a guy to stand on it. Even if there were pegs, would have been amazing. And you could just pose all your villains. Skeletor at the top and his minions going down the ramp. But really, there's about space for 4 figures on the front here. You could stand somebody down in front of the hole or the little start of the path. Maybe you could balance somebody on top of the scary face. But even that, when you start trying to balance guys, they're going to fall over. You're going to be disappointed with that if that's your display. So, I love it. It's beautiful. Yes, thank you, 4 Horsemen. It's amazing. That's my only complaint, though, is that there's not a lot of displayability options with it, which I just think is a little bit disappointing. With Skeletor removed, you can see that it's got that wolf grate there that we can push open. It's got all the classic detailing to it, like the bat sculpted into the archway. It really is impressive. Then we flip Snake Mountain around to the inside. Unfortunately, I think a lot of collectors are going to pretty much have to ignore this part, because most people are either going to keep it stored closed, or they're going to store it against a wall. I know that's going to be the situation for me. So I'm not going to get to play around with the inside much, or even use it to display a lot of figures, but it is cool that there's a lot of details here. I would say it's less impressive looking on the inside, but it definitely has a lot of great features. So the inside of a playset like this is always kind of cavernous, and you see the reverse shapes that you see on the outside. One of the things that was really cool about the original Snake Mountain was that they had actually sculpted some faces into the inside, and here we get those faces as an added, like, plug-in decoration. And instead of it being a sticker on the floor, we get this amazing statue of these creatures and tentacles climbing out of that pool of acid or slime or whatever it is, which is fantastic and is making me really wish I'd gotten a sculpted dungeon grate in the Classics Castle Grayskull. He-Man's made it to the top of Snake Mountain. He's gotten past the snake. He's seen past Skeletor's illusion with the decoy Skeletor at top of the mountain. Honey, I'm home! He comes through the wolf gate. Oh, but he doesn't know he's standing on a trapdoor. Where does the trapdoor lead? Why, to Beastman's hammock. You guys all pretended it was Beastman's hammock when you were kids, right? With the flick of a finger. How does this thing work? With the flick of a finger, after you untape the trapdoor, He-Man falls into Beastman's snare. This gives me a newfound appreciation for all the people that made the epic toy commercials of the 80s. Look out, He-Man! Trapjaw's behind you! Ha! This area is decorated with the plug-in faces, if you remove them, you can see this cool stalactite ridge. This almost seems like a slide or some other play feature. It's the snake, and they've just kind of dressed up the snake impression with this ridge. But clearly, I feel like this could have been some sort of play feature there to slide down to this platform, but it doesn't line up with the trapdoor, so it wasn't built into it anyway. He-Man jumps down from the ledge. He finds a secret passage to sneak back out once he has freed his friend. I really like the look of the hallway. This has a very Filmation vibe to it with the steps. Perhaps for coming down that corridor into the mouth of the snake or into Skeletor's throne room. Like, I've seen this in the show before. There's also a fun ladder here. I assume this is reusing the mold from Grayskull, but I didn't compare it. Snake Mountain came with a gray ladder, and Grayskull came with a tan ladder in the original line. He-Man carefully steps over the defeated Trapdoor, and he's immediately ensnared by some tentacles. Ugh. This piece is really, really fantastically done. Like this, you could have sold this to MOTU fans as a sculpture. Like, it's really well done. It looks awesome. It does eat up a lot of space in the playset, but this is where that sticker would go. I do want to mention here while I'm talking about this area, this is enclosed. It's just the tunnel through there, so this pillar, even though most of that's hollow, you could kind of hide a guy back here. There's not a passageway through around this pillar. Unhand me, you foul beast! He-Man breaks free of the tentacles, only to find Evil Lyn plotting her next scheme. Oh, He-Man, I've seen your fortune, and it doesn't look good. Out of my way, Evil Lyn, I'm here for Teela! He-Man picks up Skeletor's planning table with viewing globe and tosses it. You get this amazing table. Straight out of the Filmation show, Skeletor and his cronies would always be standing around this plotting their next scheme to take over Eternia. He-Man! I hear Skeletor. Oh, He-Man, help me! What's that? Teela? Oh, Teela. Oh, He-Man, my hero! Now, I must defeat Skeletor while I'm inside his lair. Okay, but I need to make sure you get to safety. There you go, Teela. Out to safety. Oh, thank you, He-Man. Time to escape. I'm coming for you, Skeletor. He-Man travels back through Snake Mountain, grabs the ladder, and heads back to climb up to Skeletor's throne room. Skeletor. What? He-Man? I had a hard time posing Skeletor so he could sit on the throne. He's actually sort of hovering above it. You know, with his skirt piece and the way his legs bend. He doesn't quite sit down all the way, but it still looks good. If I knew you were coming, I would have baked a cake! Oh, Skeletor! Now you don't have your dastardly computer for doing evil with. That's my micro-bake for baking cakes! Ah! Allow me to show you an illusion! Push this throne back. I call it the Aztec tomb. Open this compartment up. You can store things in here like the power sword. Put it in, watch what happens. I won't fall for your tricks. I'm out of here. Skeletor next time. So they've re-engineered the inside of Snake Mountain. The werewolf piece, that's the microphone, is just a weapon storage item this time. You do have to remove this or lay it down when you close up Snake Mountain. It doesn't fit in this slot. There is a peg hole built into the bottom and a peg on the platform. I've had very little luck trying to get this to actually peg in. It actually just kind of sits there better, and it takes up a lot of space if you are playing. And if you're displaying this from the front, it probably doesn't matter whether it's pegged in or not. There is a great computer screen here. This was the artwork sticker on the battery cover for the microphone originally. That was kind of more over here, but that looks really great. And then, of course, we have the Filmation Bone Throne, which looks fantastic, really. It's a little bit bluer than I was expecting, just the way they shaded it with the paint. I would have expected it to be more white or off-white coloring, but the shading they did was a little bit blue, but it still looks really awesome. It's got like the brown area for him to sit on it there. I did mention it's a little tricky to get him to sit, but I really like the interior of this playset. Here's the backside of Snake Mountain when it's folded up. At least 20 to 21 inches deep. It's not going to even fit very compactly folded. And there's the front when displayed folded up. It's so totally insane to take a look at these next to each other. You've got the new Classics Snake Mountain next to the vintage Snake Mountain. Here it is next to the Classics Castle Grayskull, which suddenly feels so much easier to carry around the house and easy to display. Nobody's going to seriously use their Classics playsets as displays for the Origins figures, but I really think Grayskull and Snake Mountain work incredibly well with the Origins guys. They have a little bit less of the height problem. They're very nimble because of their type of articulation joints. It's a little easier to get guys to stand on slopes and different things like that. And it makes the playsets even more massive using the 5-inch scale figures. So props to anybody that uses this to display their Origins or vintage figures on. So this has been my review of Snake Mountain. I will show off a little bit about the packaging here if you want to hang out, but I know a lot of people are going to bail because the toy review section's over. Thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous toy review. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. What do you think of this crazy thing? And on to a little talk about the packaging. So, Snake Mountain came in a giant cardboard box with plastic corner protectors. Inside that box was another cardboard box with corner protectors. Inside that box was the Snake Mountain box. The box features this amazing artwork with He-Man and Skeletor battling it out at the top of the tower, Beastman and Teela fighting on the bridge, Stratos is trapped in the chains, and Merman is peeking out from underneath. This side of the box features the bio for Snake Mountain, the evil stronghold of Skeletor. There's also some photos here showing off how the figures can interact with it. This is very reminiscent to the vintage package. The back of the box has line art showing off the playset and all the different things that come with it. On the vintage toys, they usually came with line art that showed off other items in the line, known as the cross-sew. This corner also points out that there's an epic 40x40 art print inside. There's a giant poster of the artwork from the front box. Final side has photos that show off different battle features of the playset. This is very reminiscent of the vintage package. The top of the box also features the artwork. While we're looking at that, I'll point out the poster features a very similar MOTU Classics style to it, like the other maps and things that have come in the line. I'm not actually going to unfold it completely because you know what it looks like. It's the front cover. But it is huge. It is massive. I can't even imagine getting this thing framed. It's insane. The set also includes instructions, which again is very reminiscent to the original. It shows off all the parts here on the front. It unfolds, and I love how they kind of use Orko as a narrator, so it shows you how to connect different pieces and clip stuff on. I had a little trouble. I had to futz with the snake a little bit, and the great doors for the prison and the top of the archway to get them to pop in and stay in just right. When you open the box, there's a layer of cardboard on the top with an area cut out that kind of braces Snake Mountain. When you lift that out, inside you'll see that there are several small boxes surrounding the outside of the playset. When you open these things up, inside are the various extra pieces to the playset. Many of them come bagged. I've already removed most of them. To help protect some of the pieces, some of them also come in plastic inserts inside those boxes. Getting the little baggies off the chains, which are taped at the top here. Oh, maybe I finally got it. I was going to say it's probably been the most frustrating part of setting this up. I finally got the one. I hope that was a good enough unboxing portion for you guys. I don't usually do unboxings. I did film myself taking the official box out of the 2 shipper boxes. But I just kind of wanted to enjoy opening the playset and putting it together on my own and not have to be worrying about the camera and stuff like that. So I did take that one snapshot and showed off, you know, kind of how it went together. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I really, really appreciate it. I hope you check out other videos on my channel. I have so many different videos. There's so many different toy lines and formats and different things on here. I'm hoping that some of you guys are new viewers. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. What else can I say but good journey.